MoP Remix, one of the craziest experiments WoW has seen and maybe ever will see, is about to launch, and it's kinda complicated. In ways, it's the same decade-old content that you can play in Dragonflight right now, but in other ways, it is completely unrecognizable, especially if you're someone who's never played Mists of Pandaria before. So, today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to enjoy this mode, even some secret forbidden knowledge from the PTR, all thanks to today's sponsor. Boot.dev/Bellular. You know the deal, they're here to teach you back-end web dev skills. That's an amazing field, and in this case, they're using Python and Go, and they do it in the smart way by making it fun. Overall, Boot is an online self-paced platform, 100% geared to get you writing code. And not just any code. You'll be working through role-playing game-inspired problems. I'll talk about one of those a little later in this video. And the platform itself has got quests, levels, XP, achievements. They even have community goal raid bosses. And of course, you can get 25% off your first purchase by using my link and code. Now, taking a look through their overall list of modules, it is an amazingly complete learning path. And when you're going through it, you'll realize it's leveraging things that you find interesting. Roleplay is woven through. As an example, developing and deploying a Pokédex, or even learning object-oriented programming principles by working through RPG combat, right? Essentially, taking the sorts of concepts that you already understand, and then mapping them onto the field in a way that actually makes it click. It's great, and supported by Boots. I have never seen such a useful AI chatbot. Like seriously, rather than giving you the answer to the problem, it actually helps work you through the problem, actually like a good teacher. I was genuinely shocked how just well implemented and useful Boots is, so pretty incredible actually. Overall then, Boot.dev/Bellular. The code Bellular gets you 25% off your first purchase, backed by their no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can actually go and experience free demos of all of their courses as well. They're a great bunch, so thanks Boot, and let's roll. Okay, the big question, what do you actually do in this? The short answer is, you go back and you do Pandaria content. The level brackets are kind of interesting, where you begin with the usual dungeons and questing, but before long, you can actually start hopping into raids as well. Like at level 30, you can just go to a raid. The long answer to that question is, you just experiment with a whole new playstyle, a whole new way of gearing, playing with new gems and special effect-based buildcraft that is totally new to World of Warcraft. You get to experience Mists of Pandaria and earn a ton of cosmetics for your overall WoW account and level loads of alts while you do it. The major focus of this is the new currency though, that you're going to be using to buy transmogs, mounts, and toys, as well as upgrading items. And this currency is called Bronze. You get bronze from literally everything you do, even things like scrapping unwanted bits of gear. But one of the ways to get a lot of it is via remix achievements. So, remix achievements are achievements that you do in MoP Remix, and there are achievements for everything. Completing zone campaigns, scenarios, dungeons, raids, reps, all of it. But we can cheese a few of them. Here's the fun tip, the Explorer achievements. There are 10 zones, and fully exploring a zone gives you 200 bronze. You can cheese this by using the Pandaria Scouting Map toy. It costs 10,000 gold at the heirloom vendor, and using it will instantly complete 7 of the zone exploration achievements. That will immediately get you 1,400 bronze. Now, these achievements are not account bound, they are character bound. Of course, the point is you can do this stuff on characters and always earn bronze by doing the achievements. So because of this, you can start every new alt with 1,400 bronze. And that's actually quite a lot. Some transmog sets cost between 750 and 1250, while the cheaper mounts are about 2200, so you can pretty much get something for free, or at least just get a nice head start on any new character. Of course, Blizzard could fix this if they don't like it, but so far they haven't made an announcement. Anyway, your goal is to get bronze, to buy a huge amount of cosmetics, and to experience MoP in a fun way while you're doing all of it. And you can approach this however you want. You can go and do Lore Master. You can kill rares. You could do all of the dungeons. You could just spam LFR. You could do normal raiding, heroic raiding, or even try to push for mythic Siege of Orgrimmar raid kills. And by the way, those raids are now in a daily lockout. Or you could just do dailies, do quests, do reps. And when you're doing reps, you'll actually have a 100% bonus attached to make it go down a bit nicer too. Basically, You just do whatever you want. Big picture, reaching max level is ideal for progress because you get more bronze from scrapping better quality gear. You also get more cloak upgrades at max level, but in terms of getting to max level, you can do whatever you want, and that includes things that are pointless to do on live, like the Landfall, Isle of Thunder, and Timeless Isle campaigns, because here, they give you bronze. Now, the community will of course discover the fastest way to outright farm bronze, probably by queuing LFR or farming a specific scenario or something like that. We're not sure yet, but there will be techniques, and of course, when those are discovered, I will let you know about them. Overall though, get bronze, buy really cool Pandaria themed things on the vendors. Now, there are some things that you will want to hit. That's level 20 to get the August Phoenix, level 70 for the Time Runner title, and complete a few achievements from each zone to get Chen Stormstout's hat and keg. I'd also recommend that you farm Garrosh kills. When you do, you'll get these Bones of Manaroth, and those bones can be used to purchase heirlooms, which you'll only be able to get during this, and, this is pretty crazy, you can actually buy the Tusks of Manaroth. It'll probably take a lot of farming, but the fact that you can get the tusks will be a major draw for a lot of people. That's one of the most desired transmogs in the whole game. For the rest, you can just do what you enjoy, which is kind of fitting. It's set in Pandaria, the place of Zen, and if you've never experienced Pandaria, just stop and smell the roses. This was one of WoW's best expansions. It was absolutely underappreciated at the time. We kind of had no idea how good we had it. But of course, we're not playing Pandaria Classic. We are playing with Dragonflight mechanics, and then an entire layer of absolutely unhinged game experiments that make this completely insane to play. So let's talk about that. There's a fair lot of explaining to do, so bear with me. Now, the most important thing for you to do is upgrade your cloak. You get this legendary cloak when you start on a time-running character, and everything you kill or loot has a chance to contain threads that permanently upgrade your cloak with stats and increased XP gain. The thing to know that could save you loads of time is that you get more thread drops at certain level breakpoints. So a thread drop gives you 1 thread to begin with, 3 at level 30, 7 at 50, and a massive 12 threads at level 70. So that means that your cloak is upgrading 12 times faster in a maxed out character, so I think it really is worth doing things on a level 70 character and playing that character for a bit before you go into alts. And also there are achievements to farm threads that unlock the alt sharing power in stages. So basically, max out a character, get a nice cloak, unlock the account-wide power for the cloak, and then just have at it with your alts. Now, if you really want to feel like you can get ahead, the first thing to do is to get a trinket. You see, rings, neck, and 1 trinket will be available at level 70, but you can get one right away from completing a few scenarios. So if you queue up for Battle on the High Seas, Theramore's Fall, Blood in the Snow, Dark Heart of Pandaria, and Secrets of Ragefire, completing 3 of those will get you this item. It's the Time Runner's Beacon, and it's a really nice item because it gives you extra gem slots. And those gems are not your usual gems. This is actually where the meat of the new gameplay comes in and is really exciting. There are 4 types of socket. Prismatic, which is on your chest, legs, and accessories, with higher item level pieces giving you more slots and more stats from the gems themselves, which are secondary and tertiary stats. And basically, if you've played Diablo, you'll recognize how this works. What you do is you combine 3 of the same gem to get an upgraded version of that gem. So keep every gem you get and track when you can upgrade. So that's a recap of your prismatic sockets, of which you'll have many. There are then cogwheel and meta sockets, and you'll only have 1 of each. The cogwheel goes in your feet, and it gives you a bonus movement ability, something like roll, blink, dats, advance, sprint, or disengage. I mean, you can be a Death Knight with blink, which is cool, but Trailblazer just gives you a constant 30% move speed out of combat, which is pretty nice. Then the meta socket goes on your helm, and that gives you a new spell from a range of crazy things. There's Life Storm that heals, damages, and gives your whole party haste, Thundering Orb that turns you into a Thundering Orb, and even one that drops your party's HP to 10%. They're all really strong, but keep an eye out for Ward of Salvation for healers and hybrids. It was doing really crazy stuff on PTR. And in terms of tuning, Blizzard know that a lot of the novelty is in these, and they've made sure they feel good. So that's prismatic, cogwheel, and meta sockets. The final type is Tinker. Now, these Tinker sockets are gems with effects that are just a level of fun and busted buildcraft that WoW's never had. There's far too many of these to get into, but they do things like dealing a percentage of your max HP as damage, triggering 4 to 7 auto attacks every time you use a melee ability, making your crits explode with fire damage, and a random meteor proc. Like, it is full on just power everywhere. One of the most fun ones is called Slay. It almost always insta-kills any mob you hit that's under 10% HP. I mean, look at this explosion. This is Tinker gems reacting with each other, and that basically is, by the way, proper ARPG combat. It's a little bit like having an absolutely decked out character in Diablo, where it so much as looks at a mob, and then for some reason your whole screen explodes. So if a core part of a game fantasy for you is being busted powerful and destroying stuff, that's what this is for. And by the way, Brittle is pretty damn OP. So that is what's going on there. Honestly, it's kind of crazy, and I think people are going to be having a lot of fun with this system. So that's the 4 different types of sockets and gems. To get gems, just do anything. Like, just about everything gives you gems. That's the way that they've designed this. If you want them more directly, though, you can buy random gems from a vendor for bronze, and they are pretty cheap, so you can speed through getting them that way. And I would kind of recommend doing that if you just want a specific gem build ASAP. Now, there is a thing to note here that's really nice. You have a way to remove gems at any time. So basically, replacing a gem doesn't break the old one. Your bag will just fill up with loads of gems, and that brings me to a big tip, which is to use the add-on Narcissus. Peter has been working on making this awesome UI for gemming in MoP Remix, so it takes what would otherwise be a hell of a lot of clicking around your bags, and it just puts it into one beautiful UI. Ultimately, I can understand why Blizzard didn't craft, like, a big specific new UI thing for ultimately what is a few months long event, but with Peter's add-on, it's just way better, so yeah, give it a shot. Okay, we've done gems, let's talk about gear. It's weird. Regular gear doesn't exist here. Everything is specific Time Runner gear from personal loot and from your quest reward chests. This gear has only got armor and secondary or tertiary stats, and the item level of drop scales with your level. Now, item level itself adds more armor and stats, but also gets more power from the gem slotted in it. But there's another catch. You don't get a neck, rings, or trinkets except from doing specific achievements, and you don't get some slots dropping until you hit higher levels, as an example, like helms. We didn't get one until we were level 16, as an example. Now, if you're thinking about heirlooms, then good instinct. People actually found that despite Blizzard removing all mailboxes, they could use their mailbox toy to mail themselves heirlooms or bits of crafted gear, right? To fill out those empty slots early on for extra stats. There is an exploit technically there, but I think there's almost no way that Blizzard will let that ship. One thing you might have noticed, though, is that none of this gear has got stamina or your primary stat, and that's actually because all of your primary stat and stamina comes from your cloak. But obviously, you'll still want to keep farming and changing out your gear as you go, especially because at certain item levels, gear will get extra prismatic and tinker slots. And to be honest, the way that this feels in gameplay is like Christmas morning, whenever you're putting another tinker gem in. It feels so powerful. Gear comes from everything all the time, and you can scrap unwanted stuff for bronze, so there's no strategy here, it is just keep leveling up, getting gear, and focusing on the ones with higher item levels and stats that you want. Now, this may change a little bit at max level because epic gear does have main stats, but that's just not something we were able to test. Okay, you basically understand how it works, but I do have a few more tips. First, level alts for War Within via this, because with a massive amount of stats and extra XP from the cloak, it is going to be very fun and very fast. Blizzard's own example shows an over 300% XP gain. Second, definitely consider playing a hybrid. Loads of gems interact with healing, so having some healing in your kit feels amazing in this game mode. As an example, Prot Paladin, again, like, they already feel strong. Here, they're crazy. Like, you really do just feel like the God mode protagonist as one. Another thing, then, is you can use this to level up alts to do the Heritage Armor quests. Now, unfortunately, you won't actually be able to do the Heritage Armor quests during time running. The way it works is that after time running, all of your time running characters will become normal characters. So if you do get a character beyond level 50, once it transitions over, you'll be able to do the Heritage Armor quest. I have got many of those still outstanding, and I'm absolutely going to get those characters leveled up doing this. The other tip I'd have is this is going to be around for 3 months according to the calendar, so don't burn yourself out or go too hard to farm out the rewards. I mean, obviously, plan it out, play as much as you want, but don't feel like you need to spend every single second playing for rewards unless you are a total completionist and you just know that's what you want to do. Anyway, that is it for today. I will be back rapidly after this launches with everything that we've learned, and of course we'll bring together all the tips and tricks so that you can have the most fun out of MoP Remix. But okay, that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out, have fun, and I'll see you next time.